Have you ever seen those little black dots that occur on the walls in your bathroom, perhaps around your windowsills? Maybe you've got a big blanket of black right across your ceiling. Maybe you've had shoes that have developed little black dots all over them. Maybe your food has. Then perhaps you've actually seen mold. And this is why you need to know about it. Because if you're suffering with light sensitivity, sound sensitivity, glare, emotional responses, then mold may potentially be part of your problem. Hey, I'm Trevor Jacuti, and thank you for watching our videos. If you are enjoying our videos, please like and subscribe to our channels. It's the easiest way that we can keep you up to date with all the information we put out and help you get your health back under control. All right, so let me talk to you about mold and our experiences here with mold, because there's a little bit of controversy around this topic, and it is a growing topic. But one of the things that we do see is that mold can lead to inflammatory responses within the immune system itself, which is commonly referred to as SIRS, even to mast cell activation syndromes, or MCAS. There's a whole lot of different things around that area that can actually come from infection, especially in regards to mold, and sometimes it doesn't need to be a huge exposure either. So these things are really, really critical to understand. So let me explain to what we've seen in terms of brain changes in people who have been diagnosed with mold illness. All right, so the first one that we've seen is this area in the central part of the brain here. So this is called your limbic system. Your limbic system are your emotional centers. So your emotional centers are those that kind of make you teary, make you anxious, make you depressed, make you angry, get you frustrated. This is your limbic responses. In people with mold, what we've seen happen here is that these areas tend to become hypersensitive and even enlarged. And there are some studies that you can have done from MRI called NeuroQuant, where they've actually shown potentially increased volume in that area of the brain with people who have had mold-related illness. So something we commonly see with people who have mold is that they often tend to start becoming quite depressed, start becoming quite irrational. Sometimes they'll get angry and frustrated. A lot of times they'll just feel helpless, despair, these type of things. But emotion really does take over their life, and it's a really big problem for them. The other area that we've seen a lot of issues with is this upper area of your brainstem here, known as your midbrain. And the midbrain is a really critical area. This is our flight or fight responses. This is the area of our sympathetic nervous system. And when we start getting an increased excitation with this area here, what we start seeing is the major inputs from that area also start becoming sensitized. So we start having issues with light and sound sensitivity to begin with. That's one of the key symptoms that we've seen here. We start having issues with general broad pain. So it's like the microphone's been turned up and they start becoming more sensitive to pain right across the board. Trigeminal problems are a common issue, as well as face pain, sensitivity around the face, these type of things. Balance center problems are also another common issue with these type of things, and cervical spine issues are things that we commonly see. Not necessarily pain, but a stiffness or a tightening in that area are things that we commonly see with people who have mold infection. Other key symptoms that we often see with this relating to general people who've been diagnosed with mold illness are things like migraine, fatigue, and poor visual contrast, which is a really interesting thing. But these people often comment that they can't see different shades of grey on computer screens and similar. So really, really interesting thing. And there's a visual contrast sensitivity test you can do as well to actually assess for that, which has been shown to have some orientation by Dr. Schumacher with mold infection. So what are some key things that we can kind of approach with this? So the first thing we need to look at is whenever you do have mold in the house, it's important that it gets professionally dealt with, okay? Don't just get there and scrub it. You potentially can throw the mycotoxins and the spores in the air and create a problem for yourself. If you're unsure whether or not that mold in the house is potentially affecting your symptoms, do what we call, or what's been termed a mold sabbatical. Go away for a couple of weeks as a minimum. Make sure everything you take with you has been disinfected so that there's no mold on it in any way, shape or form, no mycotoxins. Go to somewhere you know that is clean of all that stuff. Spend 2 weeks and then come back. And if you come back in the house and within a very short period of time you start feeling unwell, or you start feeling like your symptoms are becoming exaggerated, this can potentially be suggestive of some form of mold infection as well. There are some key strategies that you can do. A lot of integrated GPs work with this type of stuff as well. But doing some really simple things are very, very important in terms of dealing with this stuff. But what's most critical is you need to remove yourself from that environment. It's really, really important. Get someone who is a building biologist who can come in and properly assess your house and properly deal with that issue. All the things that can be done from a medical, from a natural health perspective, things like this to unwind that mechanism down are going to be very, very unlikely to be successful if you're still getting exposed to it on a regular basis. So that's a key step that we need to really look at, is what is going on in the house and how do we deal with that before we start looking any further in regards to how do we manage and how do we go about trying to normalize all these potential neurological changes that have been associated with the inflammatory responses that come from dealing with infection. Anyway guys, if you do have any questions, just post them up, send them through to me. Always happy to help in any way, shape that we can. Catch you in the next video. Bye for now.